Here's an idea that sounds completely backwards until you've spent enough time studying violence and security and risk. The most important fight you'll ever win is often the one you never have. That might seem like a strange statement coming from anybody involved in things like preparedness and self-defense, etc. Surely the point of self-defense is to know how to fight, and you are not wrong if that's what you think. Knowing how to defend yourself obviously matters. Training, capability, all of that matters. But if you speak to people who have actually experienced real violence, who have investigated it, responded to it, or spent years preparing for it, you'll notice something very interesting. Very few of them romanticize it. Most of them spend far more time talking about avoidance rather than confrontation. There is a reason for that. Many of us grow up with a very simplistic view of conflict. Movies and television, social media, Hollywood have conditioned us to see violence as a problem with a clear beginning and a clear end. The bad guy appears, the fight happens, the good guy wins, and everybody goes home. End of. Real life is very rarely that tidy. In reality, violence tends to create consequences that continue long after the confrontation itself is over. Even when you are completely justified, even when you did everything right, even when you survive. Survival is not always the same thing as victory. There is a distinction that many people don't really appreciate until they've seen it firsthand. We often think of conflict as having only two possible outcomes. You either win or you lose. But there is a third outcome that doesn't get discussed nearly enough. You survive, but you still pay a price. It might be a physical injury, maybe a negative financial impact, maybe you still have to deal with legal problems. Maybe it's emotional baggage afterwards. Maybe it's the knowledge that a single moment changed the course of your life forever. That's why experienced people tend to view violence differently. They don't fear it, but they don't glorify it either. They understand that every confrontation carries costs, even when the outcome is favorable. What's particularly interesting is how many serious confrontations tend to begin. Not with criminal attacks, not with major threats, but often with something small, a disagreement, a challenge, an insult, a misunderstanding, a bruised ego. And if we're honest, ego is very often the unseen force sitting behind many avoidable conflicts. Someone says something offensive, or you feel disrespected or challenged, and suddenly the situation is no longer about safety. No, no. Now it's about pride. It's about proving a point and not wanting to look weak. It's absolutely a fact that most of us, if maybe not all of us, have had that internal dialogue. I can't let this one slide. Does it sound familiar? I need to show this guy that they can't talk to me like that. The problem is that ego has a remarkable ability to disguise itself as courage. I'm going to repeat that. Ego has a remarkable ability to disguise itself as courage. It convinces us that escalation is strength, when in reality, the strongest decision is often the one that removes us from the problem altogether. Now, I'm not talking about backing down from a genuine threat or even surrendering your rights. I mean understanding the difference between a battle that must be fought and one that serves absolutely no useful purpose at all. Think road rage. There is a hard truth that simply doesn't get enough attention. You don't get extra points for winning a fight you could have avoided. You don't get a trophy for proving you were right. And in many cases, the consequences of such a confrontation remain long after the satisfaction of the actual argument has disappeared. That's when you deal with reality. That's why avoidance should never be confused with weakness. In fact, avoidance often requires a level of discipline that confrontation itself does not. Anyone can react emotionally. Anyone can lash out. And I mean, we all do sometimes. Anyone can allow anger to dictate their decisions. But remaining calm, staying objective, choosing the outcome that best serves your long-term interests often requires far more self-control. And when you look closely, this is where self-defense really begins. Not when somebody throws a punch or when a weapon appears, not when the crisis is already underway, much earlier than that. It begins with awareness. I'm back to that, always back to that. Begins with recognizing warning signs. It begins with choosing environments wisely. It begins with identifying risks before they become problems. So the earlier you can recognize a developing situation, the more options you have available. Once the violence starts, your options disappear very quickly. Now, none of this means that avoidance always works, because it obviously doesn't always work. Sometimes danger finds you. Sometimes a threat leaves no reasonable avenue of escape. Sometimes force becomes necessary. That is just a reality. And that is why training remains important, why preparation matters, and why capability matters. But capability should give you options, not obligations. The fact that you can engage doesn't mean you should. The fact that you have the ability to fight doesn't make fighting the preferred solution. It simply means that if all other options fail, you are not without choices. When people ask what the most important self-defense skills, they often expect a physical answer. Marksmanship, the capability to physically defend yourself, fitness and tactics. And these are obviously all very valuable skills. But judgment comes before any of those. The ability to recognize risk early enough, the ability to manage emotion, the ability, and this is a difficult one, the ability to separate ego from necessity, and the wisdom to understand that the goal of self-defense is not necessarily to win confrontations. The goal is to protect what matters: your life, your family, your future, and your freedom. The most important fight you'll ever win may be the one you were wise enough to avoid. And that is your Fortis brief for today. Stay aware, stay capable, and stay safe.